embassies is in Haiti. Can you believe that? Look at that. And that is actually a compound. They call them NECs. And the C is for compound. You see, you hear that word a lot when they arrested Weibo Ludwig, and that's why we knew it was a full scam, crap load of shit, because it kept talking about his home, a beautiful home in the mountains, being a compound. No, it wasn't a compound. This is a compound. The government has compounds. People live in homes or on farms, not compounds. That's the big difference. So that's something to always keep in your bag of tricks. There's a little picture there, artist impression of what the compound looks like. And here's a nice aerial view of the compound. Fourth most expensive embassy in the world for the United States of America. Of course, the most expensive is in a country called Iraq. Well, you would expect that. The next biggest one is in China, because billion people in China knows what happened to their embassy in 1999. The Americans blew it up. So you have to have a big compound so that nobody can come in and kick your ass. Another nice picture there of the walls and all that sort of thing. And then we have a nice big one in Germany for some reason. So didn't a lot of people from Al-Qaeda come from Germany? And, you know, you're just rubbing your brain there and you're something, Al-Qaeda, Germany, like there's just something going on there, you know? I remember it well. So, yes, indeed, we do remember it well. Just amazing. So we're all in position here in Haiti, no worries. Then one of the big crap stories is, you know, they talk about the security concerns in Haiti, and they have to pull the doctors out and the nurses out. And then, you know, we find a CNN article here where, just luckily for us, CNN's chief medical correspondent, Sanjay Gupta, was able to stay behind in this hospital. Like, isn't this absolutely amazing? Like, all the Belgian doctors and nurses had to leave, and you know, just after you come out of surgery, there's something called intensive care, where you need nurses and stuff like that, and they just leave one doctor behind, good old Sanjay. But it was okay, it was safe for him to be there, but it wasn't safe for anybody else. But I guess maybe the Belgians knew they put all the security at the bank, and Sanjay Gupta realized, you know, he's got $1 million paycheck anyway, probably working for CNN, so, you know, nothing's going to happen to him overnight because it's all probably staged. Like, why would you stay there alone? Like, at least they give him credit for having some balls to stay there and look after the sick and the injured. Médecins Sans Frontières flights were waved away from Haiti. They're only bringing in stuff, people coming in for show ops. Like, I think one was the governor of Pennsylvania, if I'm remembering correctly from Joyce's show. You know, he's got to get there. A lot of entertainment people got to get there. Everybody's got to get there. But what about the medical aid? Then we go into our own Canadian story, which we used to embarrass our Bilderberg king this morning. You know, like we got these Hussar groups here in Canada, these urban support rescue units, well trained. Like, we spend millions of dollars training these people. Even without this type of training, our firemen are still, you know, pretty much up there. Our paramedics are top notch, and the police that are involved in this sort of thing are very top notch. They give up a lot of their personal time to do things like what we do, to try to make the world a better place. We do it through intelligence gathering and exposing little factoids that make those kinds of people nervous. But you know, here we go. We have this these two teams, one in Vancouver, one in Toronto. They're all packed up, all dressed up, all ready to go, and they're told to stay home. Like, this is absolutely insane. There are so many hundreds of thousands of casualties. Even if we sent the whole Toronto Fire Department, the whole Toronto Police Department, and all our paramedics, and all our emergency ward people, we would barely be able to keep up. You'd be looking at 30 days of the hardest work you've ever done in your life, and you'd barely break even. So even with these few token little things to send along, you can't do it. No. No, they're good, you know, they're top-notch Canadian people. Well, the Poles got there, you know, the Israeli team's there, the Mexican team's there, and a little tiny country like Cuba, you know, which they're never going to get to a G20 meeting, even if they find gold in them there hills. They got 450 to 500 doctors there, and they're doing 5,000 operations a day. Well, how do they get to do that? You know, with their fleet of C-30 Hercules aircraft, with their gigantic Navy with 12 aircraft carriers? They probably had to come across the water on a canoe, for God's sake, but they still got there, and they're doing what has to be done to help these people. And, you know, that I got to give credit to is, you know, the fact that they do what they do, and they're doing it well. And you don't see too much of our media people saying or doing anything to help them out. Like, you just have to look at the comparisons of what's going on. If you know, you go to most of the news sites and you see these rescue teams, they're in the dirt. They're covered in dirt. You know, they look like they've been sandblasted because they're climbing in the rubble to do things. And then I go on the U.S. Navy news site and I look at their pictures, and they all look like staged photo ops. Every one. Like, they got one kid to the hospital ship. They got another kid to the Nimitz. And you're going like, okay, one. That's all. You got one? And, you know, I just find it absolutely bizarre that that's all they got. But that's the U.S. Navy, I guess. But they got a lot of great pictures, so, you know, I got to give them credit for that. Got to give them credit for that. Another, you know, little bit on the nasty side, I guess, was one of the looting stories. They make all this crap about looting, and I guess that's something that has to be talked about because, you know, there is no looting. There's nothing to loot. The whole city was destroyed. The whole city. There's nothing left. It's rubble. Now you tell me that they're gonna fish through that to find some beads and trinkets or something like that that's left over, stuff that may be exposed to the elements for 30 days, soaked in the vile contaminants that come out of a decomposing corpse, and you're gonna sell that again? Like, you know, maybe it's because of my police experience. You know about stuff. You're ever in a place where there's been a body lying for a long time, you never, ever, ever get the smell out. The only way to get rid of your uniform is to burn it. There's no way. There's nothing left there to save. The other thing is, just being a human being of any sort, you know, a statement should be made by the head poobah right from the very beginning, is help yourself to anything you need, because it is a life-threatening situation. You don't have any food. You don't have any water. You don't have any medicine. It's a 12-day wait to get help. The only help you have are from the freaking maggots that are eating your diseased flesh. So what do? A girl 15 years old goes into a store and steals a little trinket that would probably never be of any value or be sold again. It's written off. The whole city's written off. So what do? They do what they do at UN massacres. They shoot her and kill her. So can you imagine if I took anyone in the civilized world and I drug you and I take you to the local funeral home or the morgue and I put you in beside a body and you wake up there in the morning? You would freak. Effing freak. You would probably never be the same as long as you live. And it's a clean body. It's not even decomposing, filthy, hot, stinky, slimy, and wet. It's just cold. But you would be in therapy forever. There's probably not enough Prozac to keep you going. But we expect these people to be surrounded by tens of thousands of rotting bodies every day. Little children, whatever, people wounded, people without medication. And that's okay. Just don't steal little trinkets or we'll kill you. Can you believe that? You would deprive this kid 5 seconds of peace in an insane world, a world that Satan would leave because it's just too bad even for him to exist in that hellhole called Port-au-Prince and what's left. So for the value of the bullet probably costs more than what she took. You blow her away and kill her. So if we zoom in on the screen there, we can just see, you know, why the government has to have a monopoly on deadly force. Just look at the happiness there that these people have, knowing that the government has a monopoly on deadly force. Do you see the horror in these women's eyes, knowing that their relative, who survived the earthquake unscathed, was shot and killed by agents of the state for beads and trinkets? There's Daddy carrying her body across the street, 15 years old. I'm a father. I remember what a 15-year-old girl looks like. Shot to death over a little piece of shit that means nothing. They have the right to take anything they need anywhere. because it's a life-threatening situation and there is